What did you think of the first round, your team's pick?
I thought we did a great job. I think I was selfishly hoping for a little help in the secondary, but we got a really good pass rusher that I think is going to help. We lost a couple of big ones in free agency, and so replacing that I think helps us out, especially in this new defense. We love to have these DNs with this wide nine that we're playing, so I think it's going to help us a lot.
Who were you hoping for when you said you was hoping for help in the secondary?
Well, for me personally, I'm selfish. I wanted one of those Ohio State guys. I saw Lattimore start to slip a little bit. I'm hoping maybe he'd get there, or Conley. I'm glad he ended up still going in the first round, but, that's probably what I wanted.
So do you have a prediction for what you're going to do with that division this year? Philadelphia Eagles, you got your quarterback here, sitting here about 30 minutes ago, going into his second year. You guys ready to take your next step?
Oh, yeah, I don't put my pads on unless I'm trying to win, and so I think we can win this division. I think we have what it takes. Obviously, everybody's very, very excited what Carson Wentz is doing and the upside that he has. I think second year in the defense, I think we got a lot of veterans on that defense that we can rally around and build against. So I think we're on the rise. Got a couple things to finish out with this draft, but we're moving up.
Highlight for me the difference from last year compared to the year before under the last year of Chip Kelly. What was it like for you guys last year, considering what you had to go through 2 years ago?
Well, they're really night and day programs. You had Chip Kelly, who's a very innovative coach. Obviously, he does a lot when it comes to sports science and the training aspect and practice, tempo, pace, and even the training camp was set up different. Now we got Doug Peterson, who comes from the Andy Reid tree, very, very traditional, very old school. We're hitting in camp a lot more. So, the practices are a lot longer, a lot more attention to detail, and it's a little more old school. So both have their pros and cons, but I think this year, or last year, was really that foundation laying. I think Doug Peterson getting that first season under his belt, getting Carson Wentz's first season under his belt, and then really solidifying a few core players. I think we can move on with that.
Pundits like myself and many, many others thought that the defense was left out to pasture a couple of years ago, because of the innovativeness of Chip Kelly, and it was primarily focused on the offense, and the defense was basically out there for so much time. In terms of time of possession, the offense just wasn't doing y'all any favors. Was that a real issue for y'all that was relieved last year under the Doug Peterson era?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you talk about the amount of snaps just being on the field, the 2 seasons I played under Chip Kelly, I led the league in snaps played out of anybody. And last year, so we went from averaging probably 80 to 85 snaps a game to probably 65, 70. And that's significant when you talk about the course of a season and how you feel as the season goes on. But, I mean, those things also complement each other.
Malcolm, you play Kirk Cousins, Eli Manning, Dak Prescott twice a year. Who puts, and don't tell me nobody, who puts the most fear in your heart when you start prepping for that week? Don't tell me nobody. That's a cop out. Which one makes you the most nervous? Which one makes you know I got a tough week?
So who has the most concern? I'll tell you right now in New York, just because of
Eli.
Yeah, well, not necessarily Eli, just the weapons that he has. I think adding Brandon Marshall to that group of receivers who was already talented, I think is definitely an eye opener, something that we'll look forward to matching up against.
Now, do you guys feel it's a relief that Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon are gone from Washington, or is that something that y'all still worry about because Kirk Cousins is there with Crowder and Doxson and others?
Well, they also got Terrell Pryor.
That's right.
A lot of respect for. And so, those are big losses when you talk about Garçon and Jackson. But when you look at Crowder, who's, I think, probably one of the best slot receivers in the game right now and is moving up, and then you add Terrell Pryor to that, that's it. And Kirk Cousins I have a lot of respect for him and what he can do. So, on paper, it looks like they took a step down, but they really haven't.
I want to switch gears for a second. You said that Colin Kaepernick is not in the league or doesn't have a job right now based on politics. Why do you think teams are afraid of signing him?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I don't think it's 100% on his political stance, but I think we'd be fooling ourselves if we said it didn't play a part in it. We watched Tim Tebow, who struggled to be, well, no, not even get multiple chances, but people were leery of signing him because of the fanfare and media that he brought. And that was something, he was a positive guy, and he never did anything wrong. So we'd be fooling ourselves if we said that Colin Kaepernick's political stance isn't being evaluated. Now, he wants to be a starting quarterback in this league, and that comes with certain demands, and there's money involved. So that plays a part in it. But, I think we'll see as we get closer and closer to training camp. If he's not on the team, it's probably mostly because of his political stance.
And that would be my rebuttal back to you, Malcolm. Isn't it a little too early to make that call? Teams haven't signed Jay Cutler. They haven't signed Ryan Fitzpatrick. They haven't signed Colin Kaepernick. You're right. I'm sure his stand will be in the balance of equation they consider. But you can't say it's happened yet. He's competing with those kind of guys for that, last 3 starters in the league to backup role. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I think it's too early to say that it's either one or the other. I think it's a combination of all of it. But I think when people try to say that it's just because of his talent and he's not talented enough to be a quarterback in this league, you can look around the league and see guys who have jobs who he has more talent than.
And some talented guys without jobs, not just Colin Kaepernick.
You'd have to show me that list. But.
Yeah. Well, here's my last question to you. When you look at it as a quarterback, as a defensive player, when you look at quarterbacks in the National Football League, what makes you qualified to be a starting quarterback in the NFL in the eyes of a defensive player?
Well, the only thing that makes you qualified is somebody giving you the job. But what makes you
productively qualified?
A productive quarterback, a lot of it has to do with the system you're in and the grasp of that system. And so you've got some quarterbacks that are in systems that they just don't function in. But then you have other quarterbacks who know their system in and out, and they play to their strengths. So if you're a mobile quarterback like Cam Newton, they're asking them, they're gonna lead the league in rushing every year, and they're gonna do play action pass, let him throw down the field, get him out of the pocket. You got Tom Brady, who's a coach on the field. He's not running, he's not moving anywhere, but they're dictating matchups and moving things. And so as long as you're functioning in the system that you're in, you can be successful if you grasp that entire system.